Want tips to declutter and live with less? Look no further than your garden, or just outside of nature. Gardening has taught me many things, and one of which is the benefits of decluttering. So in this video, I will share 6 tips I learned about decluttering from my garden. Welcome to my channel. If you are feeling overwhelmed and tired and would like tips about simple and healthy living, then spend some time with me. One thing I enjoy doing in the spring is gardening. Lately, when I garden, I feel that I am learning more not only about growing plants, but also about how to live simply and to declutter. First, I need to point out that I am not a professional gardener. I added this hobby just a few years ago and feel that I have a lot to learn. Anyway, I have been trying to garden more lately, and here are 6 tips about decluttering and simple living from nature, plus some gardening tips. Tip number 1. Out with the old and in with the new. Each year I plant new vegetables and flowers. However, before I can do that, I need to clear out the raised beds and pots. I can't plant new seeds when there are dead and old plants in the way, so I need to remove what is no longer fruitful. It's a cycle of life. So in terms of decluttering, here's a question for you. What are some old, broken, or useless things that you might be holding on to that is preventing you from adding new joy into your life? Second tip, get rid of the weeds. In addition to getting rid of the old and dead plants, I need to get rid of the weeds. What is a weed? According to dictionary.com, a weed is any valueless plant growing wild or any undesirable or troublesome plant, especially one that grows where it is not wanted. Even though weeds may look healthy and even attractive, these plants take up needed space and are unwanted. We need to get rid of the weeds in our garden so we have space to plant what we want. Similarly, we need to get rid of the weeds in our life. What are the unwanted things in your life that take up physical, mental, and emotional space? It may be time to get rid of them. Third tip. Plants need space to grow. When I plant seeds, I can't put them too close together, otherwise they won't grow well. Even on the seed package, there's recommended seed spacing. Sometimes if I accidentally drop a bunch of seeds in an area and many of them sprout, in order for each individual plant to be healthy and thrive, I will need to thin them out. I tried to grow carrots once and dropped a bunch of seeds too close together. As a result, none of those carrots grew very big or straight, and so our carrot harvest was not good. You need space too to grow and flourish. What is cluttering your space? This can be a physical space, an overstuffed closet, cluttered tabletops, packed bookcases, or this can be busy schedules and having too much to do. Whatever space has too much in it is not used effectively. In other words, having too much in any space will result in that area not being used to its maximum potential since it's too cluttered. What area do you need more growth? Is there clutter that can be removed so that growth can be healthy? What is cluttering your life that is preventing you from doing what you really want to do? Please feel free to share your responses and thoughts to the questions in this video in the comments below. And please hit the like button if this video is helping you so far. I have 3 more tips for you, so let's keep going. Fourth tip, prune to yield more. Along the same lines of needing space, but this strategy gets a little harder. Planting seeds is at the start of the plant's life. After the plant has grown, especially for fruit trees and some flowers, pruning needs to happen to maximize production. But now it gets painful because you are getting rid of some healthy branches and even fruit and flowers. These daisy plants were pruned to just bare branches, and I was so sad when my gardener did that. But as you can see, they are growing back and they look healthier than before. So, in contrast to making space to start something that you want done, pruning is like trimming out excess so you can be more fruitful. Sometimes when we have too much to do, we can't do anything well. Also, sometimes when things are going well, we accumulate things or we take up new hobbies, but having all that stuff may dilute your time, skills, and talents. It's better to focus on a few things to do them well than to do a bunch of things poorly. What are some things that may be good but are hindering you from focusing on things that matter to you? Next tip, container gardening. Container gardening saves space and keeps things organized. There are certain plants that will take over the garden if you don't keep it contained. For example, mint can spread all over. I remember when I planted mint in the ground and suddenly I noticed that little mint plants were popping up in nearby areas and then in random places in my garden. So now I plant mint only in containers so they stay in one place. Plus, I feel that my mint plants and other plants grow better in their own containers. One of my favorite organizing strategies is the container method. There are two ways to look at the container method. The first one is to buy as many containers to hold the number of items you have. And the second way is to limit your items by the container you are using. I look at the container method the second way, where I use containers to limit my items. Just like with the mint plant to limit its growth in my garden, I use containers or spaces in my house to organize and limit the number of items I have. This will take planning and setting goals, but there are so many benefits to the container method that I plan to make a future video about this strategy. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you will not miss it when I do put that out. And number 6, which is change is needed. I don't grow the same plants in my raised bed year round because some plants reach their life cycle and they eventually die. Also, some plants don't do well year round. Some plants do well in the spring, others can be planted in the summer or fall. And sometimes you just need to redo your whole garden to reach your goal. This is like the seasons of our life. Being single, then married, then having children, and now my husband and I are empty nesters who are also part of the sandwich generation. Change can be challenging, but it gets us out of our comfort zones so we can learn and grow as humans. And I find that keeping things simple can help these transitions be easier because when you have a lot of stuff, it makes moving towards the future slower as you cling to the past. I admit, I can be slow to accept change. I like routine and predictability, but once I break out of a long rut, I feel freer. Is there something holding you back? Something that is preventing you from making that necessary change? What habits or routines or mindsets have been preventing you from making a positive change? Maybe it's time to let them go and move forward. Are there other lessons from nature that you have learned about simple living or how to live a better, less cluttered life? If yes, please share that in the comments below. We can all learn from one another. Gardening is also becoming one of my favorite ways to de-stress. For other ideas on reducing stress and simplifying your life, watch this video next. Stay healthy and live simply, and see you in the next one.